the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress. Welcome to SOUQ News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, SOUQ News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. SOUQ News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, SOUQ News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. SOUQ News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. Lateef Jakande. Born Lateef Kayode Jakande in the Ekpetedo area of Lagos Island, Lagos State on July 1929. He studied at the Lagos Public School at Enowa, Lagos Island, then at Bonham Memorial Methodist School, Port Harcourt, King's College, enrolled at Ilesha Grammar School, where he edited a literary paper called The Quarterly Mirror. Jakande began a career in journalism in 1949 with a daily service and joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. The owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, appointed Jakande editor-in-chief of the Tribune in 1956. Jakande established John West Publications in 1975 after leaving Tribune and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as executive governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform. His administration was effective and open and implemented the cardinal policies of his party. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor, building new neighborhood primary and secondary schools, and providing free primary and secondary education. He gave poor people's children education, and many of them are now very prominent in the society today. Jakande established the Lagos State University and constructed over 30,000 housing units. After the military takeover in 1983, Jakande was charged, prosecuted, and convicted of treason and later pardoned. He served as Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He died in Lagos on February 11, 2021. Lateef Jakande was the first civilian governor of Lagos State. Lateef Kayode Jakande, SOUQ Enlightenment.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godi Odidi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
SOUQ News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to SOUQ News.
So I'm happy that SOUQ TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the SOUQ News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think SOUQ News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and SOUQ News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching SOUQ News.
Keep watching SOUQ News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching SOUQ News.
The National Theatre, Igomu. built during the military regime of Olusegun Obasanjo and finished in the time for the Second World Festival of Black Arts and Culture, FESTAC, in 1977. The theater holds amazing treasures and memories. The artworks fill everyone with pride. The National Arts Theatre is visible from the motorway which connects Lagos Island and the mainland. The National Theatre is packed with the artworks of legendary contemporary Nigerian artists, stained glass walls by Yusuf Grillo, sculptures and murals by Lamidi Fakeye, Erabo Emopai, and many others. It was put to full use for a month as one of the 4 venues of the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, tagged FESTAC 77. The complex hosted 16,000 participants from 56 African countries and the diaspora in an unprecedented showcase of African music, fine art, literature, drama, dance, and religion. The National Art Theatre was built and designed by Techno Expert Stroll, a Bulgarian company mirroring the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, Bulgaria. Completed in 1976, the building is one of the largest and most beautiful of its kind on the African continent. It consists of a central hall with 5,000 seats, a collapsible stage that can be quickly rebuilt, a conference hall with 1,600 seats, 2 large exhibition halls, and 2 cinemas with 800 seats each. The theater complex has a dressing room for artists, a garage, offices, coffee bars, and a buffet. It has indoor TV and radio systems, as well as booths with facilities for simultaneous translation of languages and hectares of lush green lawn around. The majestic structure sits in Igomu like a quiet mountain, mesmerizing visitors and passers-by. The National Theatre, SOUQ Enlightenment. In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to SOUQ News, your source for business, economy, and development insight to drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, SOUQ News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. SOUQ News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, SOUQ News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. SOUQ News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ Pulse. It's been a beautiful, rainy, cold day in Lagos, Nigeria. And I must tell you, we are enjoying it. It's your program, our program. And for a while, we've been talking productivity. And you know, on SOUQ Pulse, we look at issues, deliberate, not just talk. We tell you, hey, take some action and don't keep quiet about it. What is happening to the economy? Yours, mine, doesn't matter where you're watching from, Asia, Africa, Europe. We ask you questions that has to do with the loans you're taking from those multilateral organizations, be it the ones in your own continent or the ones across. We ask you, your government, how are they spending it? Are they blowing it? Are they putting it at the things they drop those particular policies from? The businesses that are supposed to get people duly employed, are they making profit or are they losing it? We get to look at who is taking those profits. And when it's lost, on the other side, who's also losing it? We keep talking on SOUQ Pulse. My name is Chuks, John-Rogers Chuks, and it's always beautiful to have you on the other side, being part of this program. It's Thoughts Day, and today, like I said, we will be having a beautiful guest. So you just stay there and don't go anywhere. Today we'll be looking at, there are drivers to not just employment, drivers to productivity, the real people, human beings that make things work. A lot of times we hear a particular agenda, but when we go to statistics, we see that that particular agenda we get to hear is really on the lower side of it. So our topic today will be dealing on those particular people that have greatness, not just in them, endowed in them, and making sure that things are working. And that is what our topic will be revolving around today. And we will try our best to not just communicate here, but let you feel it and take action and be productive. We'll be right back, and our topic will be right in front of us. Don't go anywhere. SOUQ Pulse will be right back.
My name is Dr. Agility Obi.
My name is Etemari Glover.
Naomi, well done, and shout out to SOUQ News.
Shout out to SOUQ News. I want to encourage everyone to keep watching SOUQ News. Shout out to SOUQ News, and yes, tune into them.
Keep watching SOUQ News. They are one in town.
Hey, we're watching SOUQ News.
Keep watching SOUQ News.
Keep watching SOUQ News. Catch them on YouTube and all social media channels.
Hey, my name is Frank Edowo, and I'm imploring you. No, forget that. I am forcing you, coercing you to always stay tuned to SOUQ News for your news requirements.
Welcome back. It's SOUQ Pulse, and today we are looking at women in business. Yes, you heard me right. Women in business, women in entrepreneurship, women getting their hands dirty and doing the job. We're looking at what are the opportunities, what are the challenges. For some people that might not be aware, over 70%, I'm trying to be very economical, over 70% of the food on our tables, grown from all those small farms across Africa, come from the hard work of women in Africa. So if we have that statistics, you now tell me exactly why they should not be celebrated, why we should not put them at the front burner and ask serious questions. What can we do to make sure that these women not just do well, do better, scale up, and get this continent moving? With me here, it's someone that we had to physically move to the studio. Some of you are surprised. Yes, we do. She is a trainer. She is someone that is right into vocational services. So you now know how important it is to us. She is the head of Dominion Development Ventures right here in Nigeria. Hamida Adedoyin, thank you very much for joining us, and you're welcome to SOUQ Pulse.
My pleasure. It feels good to be here.
Thank you very much. Some of you are wondering, if we keep getting people into the right places and give them the opportunity, they will do wonders. You happen to be like, let me say, one of the youngest that has been on SOUQ Pulse for a while. And not just youngest as in age, youngest as in the kind of job you do, the kind of services you provide.
Okay.
And I celebrate you.
Thank you so much.
We say thank you very much. We are looking at women in business. And there's no better way to start than, let's look at Dominion Development Ventures, the services you offer.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate. To start with, I am a young entrepreneur. Thank you for saying that once again. I render services to people, basically so far I've been running this business for 6 years plus, and I've had plus and minus. I've certified close to, let's say, 60 people. I even had the opportunity of like 3 of my students at the moment who have traveled abroad. This is vocational training, and I train on makeup and guillotine, wig making, installation, pedicure, manicure, dreadlocks, and nails. So a lot of people, yes, we know makeup is popular, wig making is popular, dreadlock is very popular, but how do you want to come into the business and be different? What are the things people are doing they are not doing right, that you want to change the scenario? You want to change the economic, what's the word again? The economic growth. How can you change the system? So most people believe, okay, so if you want to be an entrepreneur, what are the things you want to achieve as an entrepreneur? You want to help the community. Who are your target audience? The government cannot do everything. The federal government, people keep blaming the federal government, the state government, the local government. But you as an individual, what can you do to help your economy? So that was
your economy.
Yes.
Good. You have to first be able to help your
economy
before it gets to the next person's part of.
That should be your own intention. So that was one thing that made me take that step the very day I thought about it. That I want to help the less privileged. There are some people that don't have the opportunity. They want to learn a vocational skill, but they can't afford 50,000. They can't afford 100,000. And the scenario of, I want to go and learn this thing, and my boss would send me on an errand for, in a week, send me on an errand for 5 days. How do you expect your apprentice to learn? So I wanted to change that scenario. I know back in the days, those were the challenges our parents, our forefathers went through. You want to learn, let's say for instance, a mechanical engineer. You want to learn how to be a mechanical engineer. Now, you have to buy food for your boss. You have to go to the bank for your boss. You have to do all those things. Yes, I can understand.
You're going to some of the traditional old ways.
Yes, the cultural, the traditional ways of doing those things. So those are the things I wanted to curb. So that was one of the reasons I took vocational skills training as a service. I want to train people, and I want the less privileged to also enjoy this. So that was the reason. Those were the focus that really made me go into vocational training business.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, at the end of the day, this is not just service, but you are able to make people self-reliant.
Yeah.
Not just useful to themselves.
They have to be independent to their community as well.
Useful to the community. Good. Now this brings the message home. Now for people there that are wondering, the SMEs, small and medium scale enterprises, they are the drivers of any society, every economy. You cannot be bigger than your small and medium scale industries. Now, if we don't have them thriving, then we are in trouble. If we don't have those services and those products thriving, then we are in trouble. And this is where you play. I want to say thank you. Now, let's bring this message back home. We're talking about women in business. I was talking earlier with you. Most times when this kind of issue or when this kind of discussion pops up, what comes to people's mind is they start looking for notable names. Maybe people playing in oil and gas, people playing in banking, EDs, forgetting that this is just one individual. We are looking at an aggregation of hundreds of thousands. That is where the counting starts. Now, we are looking at women in business. What are those challenges? Now, we are going to draw from your experience as a woman. What are those challenges you faced being able to offer this service to your community, getting people to learn a skill, a trade, and be self-reliant? What are those initial challenges you faced?
Okay, so my first challenge was how to balance it as a woman. You know, there's this stereotype in most cases, people are gender biased. So when they see a woman coming into the public to say, I want to do this, they tell you, no, you're supposed to be a full housewife, quote unquote. Or you're supposed
I didn't tell you that.
I'm saying generally.
Okay, because when you said it, you rolled your eye kind of, and I was wondering, when did I say it?
So I know that most people, they see it as, okay, so women are trying to take over. And I want to paint this scenario that when a lady gets pregnant, she is the one that knows the do's and don'ts of a child before the child is birthed. Like when the child starts forming in her womb, she registers for antenatal, then from 3 months to 6 months to 8+ months to 9 months. She understands the system. Women should be given the opportunity to do things the way they want to do. As a mother, we understand everything. A mother understands what a child is going to become before the father. Because 90% of the time, she's always with the child. Before the father will come and say, okay, I think this child is going to become this. The mother is the one who is going to know, quote unquote, first. Secondly, people see women as, okay, if she gets to that position, she will not give them the opportunity. She won't be able to manage her emotions. Like she's going to be maybe, you know that we women in most cases, we get emotionally traumatized. They say we get heartbroken most times. So gender bias.
Most times?
Yes.
Okay, they say.
They say.
Okay.
No, if you look at the percentage, women in some cases, so let me bring it down to, you know, that sometimes we get mood swing when we are on our menses.
Okay.
So with that, they believe we can't control our emotions. So they tell you, so if a woman becomes the CEO of a company, how will she be able to manage it? That is one, gender bias. Secondly, maybe if she has issues with her marriage, gender bias. So that is one. Secondly is property right and ownership.
No, let's before we get there, let's look at those
my personal
yes.
Oh, okay, so I would say that, yeah, aside from being an entrepreneur, I'm also a journalist. So I was able to bypass some of those challenges. Because,
thanks to information.
Yeah, because I am into, so I was able to use the radio, the television, the social media, because I had colleagues that were in the system. And to some extent, I am on social media, so people know me as an on-air personality, as a presenter. So whatever I say, there was the trust. Of,
so
I was,
you had
I had that platform already, so I was able to break the barrier. But other barrier is when you submit your proposal to some organization, they buy into your idea, they steal your idea, and before you can get a lawyer, that would, you know, a lawyer will charge you before you can finish a case. So I think the gender bias was one of the issue I had, but other things I was able to overcome them.
Are you trying to tell me that they also steal ideas from women in business?
Of course, they do. People do. They tell you, okay, drop your proposal, and when you call them back after 1 week, we'll get back to you. And before you know it, they are doing something similar to what you're doing.
Okay. Now, if you understand and follow this flow, we are taking it gradually, and this is the experience of a woman in business. Now, look, people are wondering, why do we go this nitty-gritty kind of talk? We want to make sure that every other person there is represented, because what you're going through, somebody else might be going through that now and wondering, how can I get out of this? Somebody has gone through it. And if that person can't get out of it, you will get out of it. Now, she will also, when we go further, she will get to tell you her steps. Businesses are the same everywhere. It's all about providing services, profit for free or for gain. So how did she overcome some of those challenges? She will get to tell us. But hey, let's go through one other point before we go on break.
Okay.
You've talked about societal issues. Now let's bring it home. Let's bring it home.
Okay.
The first place we encounter resistance once you're born is inside your house.
Yeah.
the first thing a child hears is no, 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 no. Maybe a child wants to do something bad, or you're walking towards a nail, or you're walking barefoot. Your father or your mom is shouting, no, 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 no. What are those kind of no's that women face in the home?
Okay, so as a woman, we face a lot of things, but if
as it affects
if you have
business.
family, if you have family that are good, but I will still put this out. It is not best to have your family members manage your business totally, because they don't appreciate.
Can I pause you?
Okay.
Can you say it again?
Like, it's not advisable to have your family members manage your business totally.
Why?
Because you will not, there's some decisions you want to make in your business that you will look at, okay, so this person is my brother, I can't make this decision. This person is my cousin, I can't make this decision. I'm not saying you should not have your family members in your business. They are your number one fan. They are your number one target audience, but not totally. Because when it gets to some point, they have this ownership mentality. This business belongs to my aunt. I can do whatever I like with the business, and before you know it, you might run at loss. And the decisions you want to make, you will not be able to make it. Yes, they are your number one fan. They are your number one target audience. Mom, this is what I want to do. My brother. So they are going to be the one who are going to market your business to your friends. They're going to be the one to market your business to their friends. Before you know it, they are passing the information. But if you make them the face of the business, like they have like the 50% opportunity into your business, it will give you the, I'm talking from experience.
Okay.
It will give you the totality of how to manage your business. They won't give you the idea an outsider would give you.
Okay.
An outsider that has experience, that knows he or she wants to make more money. He knows that once you make profit, it comes back to his table, and he will know how to expand. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
So compared to having a family member in your business, having an outsider is better.
Okay. Now, when we go on the break, when we return, we will leave the family. We'll still stay within the society, but we'll now start looking for how to scale up, because every business run by a beautiful woman out there must scale up. So we are going on a break. Don't go anywhere. SOUQ Pulse will be right back.
The Three Wise Men. Iconic sculptures and statues adorn major metropolitan cities of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria, the statue of three men designed to depict the state's cultural heritage and to usher in visitors and tourists into the ever-accommodating center of excellence is no doubt an astounding work of art. Originally built under the administration of Colonel Raji Rasaki, designed by Bodu Shodende in 1991 and standing over 12 feet high, referred to as Agba Meta or Aro Meta, the three sculptured chiefs were placed along the Lagos-Ibadan toll gate to welcome people coming into Lagos State. The statue called the Three Wise Men by many has become a major signature for the state. Three white-capped chiefs clad in white wrappers, knotted across their shoulders and with clenched right fists are shown in the artwork. The images fascinate and create impressions in the minds of visitors coming into the state, captivating the attention of visitors who look with keen interest, pondering on the messages which the posture of the engraved images signifies. The Three Wise Men has been relocated thrice from its original position at Ojodu Berger end of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to Magodo area before its final relocation to its present site at Olowopopo Drive. The sculpture has suffered severe damages over the years and renovated. Bodu Shodende, through this sculpture, depicted the highest honor that can be afforded to anyone in the Eko greeting tradition. The Three Wise Men, Arometa, SOUQ Enlightenment.
we're here and we're still talking women in business, entrepreneurship. We're looking at opportunities and challenges. I will have Hamida here, Hamida Dedoin, and she is into vocational services. And I'm proud of her. Now, we are going this way.
Okay.
A lot of the services provided by women, there has been this connotation that people keep calling it small business, small business. We have gone past that era because every single woman behind us, we're on the 16th floor, and behind us is one of the biggest markets in Africa. More than 50% of businesses are owned by women, and they are not small businesses. So we should stop following what Western media keep calling and say subsistence farming women, small businesses women. We've gone beyond that. Now, how can we start looking at small businesses? Once you start from the family business down to a particular small place, how can we now start seeing these businesses scale up? In your experience, what and how should women businesses start scaling up?
Okay, so first and foremost, you need to know your target audience.
Okay.
Who are your target audience? The males, the females, what age range? Is it 18 to 25? Is it 25 to 40? But you can start it. Like for me now, I have people from different age that come for my services. I have people that already have a small shop, maybe an hairdresser. She's already an hairdresser, but she wants to learn wig making and installation.
Okay.
So within that short period of time, she can maybe leave a little person, younger person, or one of our apprentices at the shop and then come. So when you understand your target audience, and then you should have a record of your credit and debit. Have a record of everything. Know the number of people that register with you every month. If you are into product, know the number and age range of people that buy goods from you every month. So from there, every month, you can know your target audience. You can know your gender. Are they males or females? So when you have your target audience and then you know which of the gender is coming, then you know your profit and your loss. Okay, so every month, this is what I put into the business. At the end of the month, this is my debit, this is the profit, this is the loss. And I keep saying this, that loss is not the end of the world. Every business has a story in it. If you say because you are losing more in a business, and or maybe for instance, someone in your business, maybe a family member, did something that was not supposed to be done, maybe embezzled your product or anything, or tarnished your image, the best thing you can do is start again. Start afresh. Dust your shoe. Give it to a shoemaker to help you repolish and redust and start afresh. So when you know your target audience, age range, gender-wise, then before you know it, you can easily enter into the market. And then target audience keep changing on daily basis and on weekly basis. If you are truthful with whatever you're doing, your market will sell you. If someone knows that, okay, so I did this training from DD Dominion Development Ventures. The name is DD Up Niger. So I did my training from DD Up Niger, and they were faithful. Before you know it, one person will tell another person, another person.
So it's more like more of a referral.
A referral.
Growth by referral.
So if you create trust in people, in one person, in journalism they tell you once one person trusts your business, forget it, you have 10 people that will automatically come to you. So 1 person, 10%, 2%, 20%, 3%, before you know it, if you have trust in 5 people, automatically you have 50 people. So target audience first, then gender. Know the number of people that you render your services to, and then trust.
Okay, then at what point in time do you try to increase that number of people you render your services to?
Oh, okay, so
maybe get more people involved in the business, or maybe sell half of the business so that the business can grow bigger.
Oh, okay, so if you actually want to do that, maybe in terms of partnership,
okay,
you still need to understudy the person you want to partner with. Because in some cases, you see story of people, I started the business and then I asked my friend to come into the business, and my friend took the idea away from me. So know the person you want to you know the person you want to join into your business, maybe you can get a counsel, a lawyer. You understand? So if you have a lawyer, basically there are some lawyers that do those things for free. So you can speak to maybe an human rights lawyer that would enlighten you, have a proper documentation. So from there, anytime, it depends on whatever service you are rendering. If you know your target audience and every month, you know that, okay, so this month, I was able to sell 10 pieces of products. For instance, I'm selling a wristwatch. I was able to sell 10 pieces this month. Next month, your target should be 15. Next month, March, should be 15, 20, 25. So from there, you're expanding. You already have a written information details, so you can take it to different companies for partnership. That can also help you. So with that, you're expanding. But one thing I still want to say again, I want to put out there is property rights for women. There are some women that don't have the opportunity to expand. In the society we find ourselves, especially in Nigeria, we have what we call the religious belief that before you can expand as a woman, the customary law gives the male the opportunity to own business more than female.
Is it to own business or to own property?
To own property. Okay. So you want to own a property as a woman. So before you can leave, maybe if you are married and you want to own a business, there are still some terms and conditions you have to follow, especially religiously. Like I know in my religion now, they'll tell you, okay, so these are your limitations. This is what you can do. Because you are married, your husband should be the one that would manage the business to some extent. I know the government is trying to erase that mentality. Okay. So that is still one of the issues some females face. You are a woman, you can't do this thing. So there are still limitations to some extent. You own a business and then you want to own the business alone. You have that as a challenge. So I want to put this out that the government needs to do more for a lot of people to be able to expand, especially the women. Because when you want to expand to some extent, you are still limited in terms of property and religiously, traditionally.
Okay. We are not going to go away from this particular point you raised right now, because here on SOUQ Pulse, we don't just talk. Some of you will be wondering that we talked about presidents, we talked about Asia, and now we are talking about businesses. Yes, we're bringing it home, because if we say productivity, people have to do something. And if women are in this particular production and productive units and making things happen, we have to get our voice and their voice heard so that the right quarters can do the right thing. If we are talking about policies and legislation that has to make sure that nothing stops a business person, man, woman, let's take out the gender out of the equation right now. Nothing stops a business person from achieving that point of productivity. I think that is something the government should take and treat very serious. Why should a woman be limited? Her ideas, her hard work, her hours, why should it happen? Why should that limitation be there? It's something we can all come together and all fight for and get those that we've elected to public places to do the right thing. Now let's talk about access to funds. This is another area where over time we've had that issue of women in business being able to access some particular credit facility or being able to get some funds without the involvement of another male figure or somehow. Some banks have to, some other organizations have to start doing a kind of specific gender-targeted funding. How has it been in your business?
Oh, okay, yeah, so I want to appreciate the government for doing that and giving the women the opportunity. I think maybe they believe that women, if you give a woman 100,000, she can multiply it by 5.
No, they don't believe. That is what it is.
So,
if you give a woman joy, she will multiply it. If you give her wahala, she'll also
multiply it.
Yes.
I don't know about that one.
No, but that is, it's natural. God has blessed them that way. Whatever you give them, they'll multiply it.
Okay, so I want to appreciate the government for doing that, but they still have to do more to give some more women the opportunity to enlighten more ladies to be able to. So there's some women that they have this challenge of, okay, so before I can get this job, I have to do and undo some things I would not like to say on air.
Okay.
Yes, because some women are being pushed to the extreme. Before they can get the money, They tell you there are some processes you have to go through. Even to get a job. I've been to a place sometimes and it was time for us to reach the final conclusion. And they were giving me some terms and conditions I could not follow. I had to back out. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, so because I'm a woman, I have to do this. I don't have to open my whole part before I can achieve whatever I want to achieve. Okay. So that should also be erased in the society. Like, okay, so I am a woman. Government has said we should be able to do this. I should have the same freedom a man has as a woman. So you don't expect me to, Yoruba will say, Damisiwaju kotele tutu. That means that you have to pour water so that you can press the ground, like the cold ground. So you don't expect, don't have anything at the back of your mind that, okay, so after I've helped her as a woman, I have to get something. It is something that sometimes if I want to walk up to some companies and I want them to partner with me in my business, that's like a phobia for me because of that thing that has happened in the past. That, okay, so someone is asking for something I cannot give. So because I can't give that thing, I will not be able to improve my business. I know some women can relate to what I'm saying and you can also relate to what I'm saying. So they should try as much as possible to remove that mentality. I don't have to give anything before I can get there. And the scenario of, or the stereotype of how she got there, so she used what she has to get what she wants. How about those of us that don't use what we have to get what we want?
That is not that. I don't believe in how about those of us. That kind of talk should die.
So in some cases, so I think that is another issue some ladies face. So because you see a lady, she's always online promoting her business. For instance, a lady is just there, maybe she's selling a sweet sweat, for instance, and you know she has to show her shape. So you believe, okay, so because she's in a market space, she's selling herself, and then she has a nice shape. So before you can patronize her, you have to get whatever is under her skirt. Erase that mentality. Women are women. We have the same right as males. If I want to help a guy and I'm not expecting anything back in return from a guy should also have it at the back of his mind that I'm not going to give you anything because I want us to partner in business. So that mentality should also be erased, because that's one of the challenges I also had when I started this business.
Why didn't you call me?
You?
Should have, when that challenge popped up, you should have just called my number.
Well, the person was just a superior, so there was nothing I could do. So I had to forego the contract.
Okay. On behalf of those that didn't get to your aid at that point in time, I apologize.
Oh, it's fine. Apology accepted.
Now, we are going on a break very shortly. And before we go, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for coming in. And one last word before you go. A lot of ladies out there are still scared to start a business. And they know that they can do it. Or they don't have a job and they're just waiting. What will you tell them?
Okay, so the federal government will not give you a job. The state government will not give you a job. The local government will not give you a job. You have to create your job yourself. That is one thing I keep telling my students every time. I have empowered you. Go and empower your society. So as an individual, have it at the back of your mind that you can always do anything and everything every time. And whenever you fall, pick yourself up, dust yourself, and start again. So that is what I can say. And whatever you want to do, put your mind, your church mind, your mosque mind, your traditional mind, put your mind there and do whatever you have to do every time. Improve yourself, appreciate yourself, and encourage yourself.
Thank you very much, Hamida. It's been a pleasure having you on SOUQ Pulse.
My pleasure to be here. My pleasure to be here.
We promised and we delivered. Let's beat the numbers of yesterday. Thank you very much. We are going on a break, and SOUQ Pulse will be right back.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Marse Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal. Tafawa Balewa Square is adorned with beautiful statues of white horses and red eagles, symbols of strength and dignity. Our historic neighbors include the King's College and the Holy Cross Cathedral. Tafawa Balewa Square hosted some of the country's memorable events, such as the Independence Day in 1960, when Nigeria gained independence from Britain, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, which is celebrated annually on January 15. The edifice is a national cultural asset. Tafawa Balewa Square, SOUQ Enlightenment.
My name is Dr. Afiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
SOUQ News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to SOUQ News.
So I'm happy that SOUQ TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the SOUQ News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think SOUQ News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and SOUQ News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching SOUQ News.
Keep watching SOUQ News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching SOUQ News.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister.
Welcome back to SOUQ Pulse. It's been an interesting ride thus far, and it's nice. We made a promise that we'll have a lot of beautiful ladies in the studio today, and I'm blessed. We're still looking at women in business. We're looking at opportunities. We're looking at challenges. And we had Hamida come in and speak her mind. For those of you out there and you're facing the same kind of challenges, just know that you are not alone. And remember, like she said, don't give up and reach out. And for every one of us that is watching, that will watch later, we are our neighbor's keeper. If you see anyone having issues, any woman having issues, or any form of molestation from anybody, be it your boss, your company boss, a bank manager, anybody, stand up for the person. This last segment of the show, we are having another very beautiful lady in the studio, and we will be taking this a notch further. We have Ifeoluwa Johnson, who happens to be the Chief Operation Manager of SOUQ News. Hello, Ife.
Let me correct you first.
Come again.
It's Ifeoluwa Johnson, Head of Operation SOUQ News.
Head of Operation.
Yes.
I should take the chief out.
I'm not
Should I take the chief
Yes,
out?
take the chief out,
Okay.
please.
So I have Ife Olua Johnson, who happens to be the chief head of operations SOUQ News. You good?
My darling, let's continue.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we are looking at women in business. The beautiful part of it is that we have them domiciled in Africa, and they've been doing great, exceedingly great. Now we are looking for how can we scale up. Small and medium scale enterprises employ the majority of people working in any country. Now we are looking at Africa having the free trade zones that has been signed. Africa can trade with Africa. Businesses can trade with businesses. How can businesses within Africa, women run businesses, how can they start connecting? Let's look at the opportunity technology has given us.
So, in the first place, right, any woman or anybody in general needs to understand that collaboration is key in order to scale up in any sort of form. So women in business should currently think about how they can do collaborative projects, right?
Okay.
And that would help them drastically. For example, the economy is pretty bad, and if you want to do certain things on your own, you know the outcome of it. So collaboration, putting marketing strategies, planning properly, and over planning will make you scale up.
Okay, planning properly and over planning. That's good. Now, let's look at Nigeria. You can enter a bus in Lagos and you are in Ghana. You can enter a bus in Ghana and you are in Benin. The same thing, you can enter a bus in Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan, and you will get to Cameroon. How can ladies, businesses run by women? This particular connection you're looking at, you talked about right now. I always give an example. We're on the 16th floor and there's a beautiful market behind us. And all these people get to shop around here. Have you imagined if the products or services being offered by women businesses start selling to women other businesses, supplying women businesses across these particular countries in West Africa? The volume that they will be able to do, instead of just waiting to sell to who come to them here in Nigeria or there in Ghana or in Côte d'Ivoire.
Oh no, so I'm going to interject right now, and that's because this is currently happening.
Yes.
Right? And in as much as transportation there's a strifling in transportation in terms of the security of your actual goods moving forward from A to B, but this have been happening. The question should be,
okay,
how do we make this transportation form seamless and faster? Because the quality, the pricing good, right, if there's a seamless transportation chain, it would be stable.
Okay. Now, if you're looking at transportation, which is also where we will be going to, you spoke about transportation because you know is where bites.
Yeah.
Good. We have seen over time that businesses run by women, apart from being profit-making businesses, they have I'm looking for the word. They have this touch of family, this touch of bond, this touch of love about it. They don't prioritize profit. Profit is not the first thing that comes to mind. Service, yes. Service, customer satisfaction, and profit. We've observed that amongst businesses run by women. Now let me come down to transportation. At the slightest issues around here, most transport companies are run by men.
True.
95% of the transport companies are
run by
98% of the transport companies are run by men, down to airline. And that, I think I've seen the word I was looking for it. Most of those transport companies don't have a human face, unlike most businesses run by women. Do you think if women can come into that space, we'll have a better form or better services in that particular sector? And better services means goods will move easier.
Yes, definitely. I think women are in all stratas and of business, right? The problem is we have a visibility problem, right? Whereby half of the time they would say that these kind of businesses are done and only controlled by men, but then there are women doing it. I mean, there are women engineers now, but it would only take a matter of time, which if you check the percentage now, 70% in the entire workforce is being handled by women.
It has always been there.
Right. And businesses will move seamlessly, yes, if women take proactive measures in transportation, right? But I also don't think that's a deciding factor, right? Because it's not you being in transportation, it is you being a woman and criticized for you being a woman. And I'll give an example. I have a business that I've been running for 8 years, and I will tell you there's no week that I have not almost attempted to cry, because people just want to frustrate you as a business owner.
Is it as a business owner?
As a female business owner, because more than half of the time you're questioned about your capabilities to do certain things, either in form of attitude or in actual showing, oh, I don't think you can do this.
Just because you're
a woman.
Okay. Okay. At what point in time should my apology stop?
I don't think you should apologize. So I'm going to digress a little bit. I honestly just feel that women of today should train their sons better, because every form of organization stems from the home. And if the home has lost the actual purpose, right, you will meet shitty human beings. And that's why, in the general perspective, we are complaining that women are having troubles running businesses. And that's because more than half of the time, the men in our lives are like, oh, it's a man's world, so you shouldn't do certain things, without understanding my personal abilities, without understanding my capacities, right?
Well, are you taking it personal?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, I'm not taking it personal. Okay. I'm just saying that you don't even know the person as a woman. You already just say no. Okay. And it's quite unfair for any woman.
Okay, let's talk funding. Let's talk funding right now. Women run businesses. Now, we are not looking at those extremely conglomerates. No, we're not looking at those. We're looking at those 1,000 businesses in the market behind us. We're looking at those small, medium-scale manufacturing companies in Ibadan, in Oyo. We're looking at those particular ones. What's the best way for them to get funded? Should we start looking at family funding, bank funding, job funding? What is something that is targeted to women that is not exploitative?
Oh, so I honestly think now that funding has gotten a little bit easier. Okay. And they are like, for example, I do know that there are insurance houses that tell you come and insure your businesses. So just in case, in terms of fire, in terms of thievery, in terms of forgery, if anything happens to you, you are insured. The question is, funding are available, but how many women know that their funds are available? I mean, there are banks doing funds, there are microfinances making funds available.
Well, when you call those banks and those microfinances, what's the percentage? That's what you...
Oh, no, so it's lesser than...
2 digits.
There's some banks that are lesser than.
2 digits.
There's some banks that are lesser than. Anyways, that's by the way. Yes, either is job funding. The main issue is not a lot of women know that they can access grants and funds based on the type of business they are doing.
When you go grants, then that is way better, because most grants you don't get to pay back.
True. Good. All grants, you don't get to pay all grants.
It depends on who defines the grant. Now, if you say grant, then that means a lot of information is needed.
Yes.
Good.
So our problem, like the majority, is they don't necessarily know that these informations are available for them to take access. And the sweet thing about being a woman is once you know that there's an information and then there's a pathway, we would capitalize on it.
Opportunities of women in business. That's nice. So the grants are available. So now before we leave, let's talk about networking. What will you say about women in business networking?
Put yourself out there, right? I wouldn't say most people, I don't want to generalize this, but if you know that that's what you're passionate about and that's a business that you're willing to take the bull by the horn, or how do they say that word?
Exactly.
Right. Put yourself out there and make sure that you say, oh, hi, I'm Ifeoluwa, and this is what I do. Whether they want to hear it or not, whether they actually want to hear it, just always tell them. It's important to place yourself in positions whereby you will get information. And by placing yourself in, it's going out of the norm, right? That's
okay.
how.
Thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. It's been nice having you on SOUQ PULSE today.
It's been awesome coming to this show.
Thank you. To every woman out there, we are always proud of you. And to every woman in business out there, don't give up. You are the powerhouse of Africa, and we believe in you. For every single point you've heard today, take it to heart, act on it, and seek information. Thank you very much for watching SOUQ PULSE. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4 o'clock. Join the conversation. We will definitely reply if there are questions there. We love you. My name is Chuks, John-Rogers Chuks. Bye.